And this is my first list for 7th edition. I wanted to try out a really heavily favored towards Psyker Force to see how that worked. For my 2 HQs, I've got Eldred Ulthwe and a Farseer who also has Runes of Witnessing, Runes of Warding, and Singing Spear, and they're supported by a full complement of 10 Warlocks, acting as a giant foot council. My plan is to take a bunch of Santic and Fate and see how those two work together, along with Runes of Battle. For troops, I've got a unit of Guardians. It's just a bare-bones minimum 10-man unit. And they're inside a Wave Serpent with Twin-Link Scatter Lasers. Then there's a second Guardian unit. This one is a full complement of 20, and they have 2 Bright Lances in the unit. For elites, I have a unit of Striking Scorpions, including an Exarch with Chain Sabers. Fast Attack has a unit of Warp Spiders, including an Exarch with Fast Attack has a unit of Warp Spiders, including an Exarch with a Spinneret Rifle and Fast Shot. And it also has a Hemlock Wraith Fighter, which I'm interested to see how well it can perform, considering it now has Psychic Shriek, since it gets the Primaris to telepathy for free. In heavy support, there is a Fire Prism, and I also have the Wraith Knight to round things out. To be honest, it had been a little while since I'd actually used him in a game, and I felt like I didn't have enough anti-tank in this game, so he's going to see the tabletop.
Hey, it's Dillon. This is my Grey Knight army. There's a Venerable Dreadnought with Las Cannon, Heavy Flamer, Doomfist, Dread Knight with Nemesis Greatsword, and Heavy Gatling Silencer. A squad of Paladins with Glaives, except for Demon Hammer and a Psy Cannon. They've got Cybolt ammunition, Caldor Drago as my Warlord. We've got another squad of Paladins, all Force Swords, except for one with a Psy Cannon and Demon Hammer, and he's an Apothecary. Then another squad of Paladins, how many glaive? 1 glaive, 3 swords and a warding stave, and 1 Psy Cannon. And a Inquisitorial Warband with an Inquisitor who's got a Demon Blade, Combi Melter, Power Armor, and we've got a Plasma Gun, Melter Gun, and Power Sword, and the rest all have Volters.
A quick view of how many psychic powers are on just the Eldar side. We've got the Warlock Squad, the Wraith Fighter, the regular Farseer, and then Eldred, who also has Death Mission, which I don't plan on casting. Set up, Eldar won the dice off and chose to go first after we set up, and here is the deployment. He attempted to steal the initiative but failed, and for the Eldar we've got a Wraith Fighter coming in as reserves and Warp Spiders Deep Striking, and for the Grey Knights we have Drago Deep Striking with no unit support, and we have the Dread Knight Deep Striking. It's our first psychic phase. We're actually going to film this. Normally we wouldn't, but because it is big deal kickoff for 7th, we're going to film it so we can show people that it's not quite as crazy as everyone assumes. So I'm going to start off by attempting to cast Fortune with Eldred. I get 2 passes, which pulls it off out of 5 dice. So, are you going to attempt to deny the witch? And how many dice are you going to put behind it?
22, right?
You need to get 2 6s.
Probably about 6.
6 dice. Okay.
2 6s. And no.
No! Fortune has gone off. I'm going to cast Sanctuary on this unit. I'll throw 2 dice behind it. Got a 5, so that goes off. That gives +1 to my invul, so they'll have 3 up invulnerable saves. Except Eldred will have a 2 up.
Yeah.
And are you going to attempt to deny?
Yeah, I think I will.
Okay.
You got 1.
1 pass. I got 1 pass. Oh, and he denies it. Okay.
That was definitely worth it. Oh, I put it there. Oh, hey. With the warp charge, once you like use him from your pool, it's gone for that turn, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And next, I'm going to cast Gate of Infinity, which is a warp charge 1. I'm going to put 3 dice behind, I'll put 2 dice behind it. My Farseer's casting it. Works. Yep. So that allows me a deep strike. Do you want to attempt to deny the witch?
I need 2, right?
No, you just need 1.
1? Alright. 6.
Denied?
Yep.
Okay. Alright.
Gonna say no.
Okay. This is going interestingly.
Such very filthy Xenos.
Okay, I'm going to cast Quicken on this unit. 2 dice. Got a 4, so it works. That adds +3 to my run move. Nope. Next, I'm going to cast Embolden on this unit, so they become fearless. I got a 6, so they are fearless. Plus you're not to attempt to deny.
Is it on the striking scorpions?
No, it's the warlock unit. Yep.
No, I won't deny that.
Okay.
You can have your fearless. Yeah, now you can't run away from all my fearless grenades.
Man, I don't have a lot of... Really hoping I get that teleport going. Okay, so I'm going to attempt to cast Eldritch Storm. So warp charge 2.
Yep.
Actually, no. You know what? First, I'm going to attempt to cast Guide. 3 dice. Guide, which will allow me to reroll shooting attacks, which works. Do you want to attempt to deny?
No, I'm good.
Okay. And then lastly, I'm going to attempt to cast Eldritch Storm. I need 2 successes. I got 3.
What's that?
That is a large blast that is Fleshbane, and it's not, I think it's AP nothing.
No idea. Well, I'll try.
AP nothing, Assault 1, Haywire, Fleshbane, large passive.
I'll try and deny that. How many did you get? 2?
3.
It doesn't go off.
No, yeah, it does. You only got 2 6s. You needed 3.
Yeah, I know. So I said it does. I don't deny it. Sorry.
Yeah. And then,
no, I should have used 2 more dice.
That's it. So not particularly crazy. All right. At the bottom of the first turn, 1 Paladin squad lost a single guy. It was actually the important guy with the side cannon. The Guardians just moved up a bit. These guys just moved up, took an objective. And these guys just sat here pretty, not doing anything. And we managed to do enough casualties so that the small squad was no longer attached to the Inquisitor. And the last 3 guys broke, ran backwards, but then rallied in the next turn. The Dreadnought suffered 2 hull points, 1 from a glance, 1 from a penetrating hit, where I rolled a 5 initially. Still wouldn't have blown it up. And he didn't like the immobilized, had me re-roll it, so he only fired snapshots after that.
Well, they would have been equally ineffective.
And then the striking scorpions moved up, took a couple shots, but got shot up and then charged by the Inquisitor. They have managed to put 1 wound on him. He killed 1 guy in close combat. The Seer Council, well, they're pretty good, just because of the amount of warp charge. And with redundant powers, you really do warp farm a lot, but he managed to deny things a lot. Grey Knights have a lot of denial dice. Sanctic powers are really powerful for Eldar if you get the, I think it's called Sanctify. It's the one that adds +1 to the invulnerable save. If you pair that up with Fortune, 3 up rerollable. With Eldrad, 2 up invul rerollable. And the score right now is 3-2. I managed to get Ascendancy and rolled a 3 for my D3. and he managed to score objective 2, which got him a point, and because he killed my Scorpion Exarch, that got him another point. Turn the Hemlock flew on, cast Psychic Shriek, and managed to wound a Terminator, or a Paladin rather. The other units here in the back held the line to get me a victory point. The Psychers, once again, he nullified my ability to deep strike across the table. I've got a unit of Paladins wrapped up in combat with the Wraith Knight. And these gentlemen right here wiped out the unit of Warp Spiders that deep struck here. And this unit is down to 2 guys. And lastly, Drago arrived, deep striking in next to the Warp Spiders, but scattered on top of them, had a mishap, and I got to place him here in this far corner. At the bottom of the 3rd turn, the Paladins here had Horrify cast on them, so they were -3 leadership. I pulled off Psychic Shriek, and of course I rolled an 8 against their 6 leadership, and of the 2 wounds they saved them both with invulns. The Seer Council here teleported and then moved up there with their battle focus. They managed to really do nothing to the Paladin squad, but they made it up there, and then the Farseer, who failed a Lookout Sir, and then failed his 4-up against the Psy Cannon, so he got splatted. The Wraith Knight managed to take out the Paladins that had been there. Took a while, but he finally got it done and claimed that objective. The Dread Knight is actually fine. He's only in 2 pieces because of the angle. He managed to kill 4 Guardians with all his shooting. Fire Prism hasn't hit anything, and this unit just keeps claiming. I managed to put up a number of points this turn, so the score is now 11-3. Bottom of turn 4, the Paladins have been entirely cleared out. The Eldar have pretty significant board control. Drago managed to cast Hammerhand this turn. I could not stop him, but that was it. And the Wraith Knight is down to, or the Dread Knight is down to 3 wounds. And that's pretty much it. He's thinning out my unit some, but I have a lot more left on the table than he does. And the current score is 12-3. So at the bottom of turn 5, the Eldar have controlled every single point on the board, which met a victory condition and provided me with 5 additional points. Drago is currently the only Grey Knight character left on the board, Grey Knight model. The Guardians took down the Dread Knight with a shot from a Bright Lance, and I managed to put a wound using Psychic Shriek from the Wraith Fighter. And want to roll a d6 to see if the game continues. 3. The game does continue for turn 6, and the current score is 18-3. Quick wrap up. The Eldar won at 21-3. They managed to get the whole board under control, and the thing that actually finally killed off Drago was popping Horrify and him not being able to deny it, which knocked him down to a 7 leadership. And then the Wraith Fighter pulled off Psychic Shriek and managed to cause 5 wounds. He failed 3 of those saves. Dillon, what are your thoughts on your first game of 7?
Yeah, it's really good. The psychic phase is awesome. It kicks ass. Yeah. But I think apparently the Grey Knights don't kick ass. Oh, that was 7 times my score. Yeah. Oh well. Half the objectives are cool, but they allowed me to just get massacred in points. That was awesome though.
Quick thoughts overall. Get off way fewer psychic powers than I used to, but the combinations you can get really amplify them, just with the 2 new disciplines as well. And you can pour through dice really quickly just trying to make sure you actually cast stuff. And there were a number of times where I tried to cast important powers like Fortune,
and I'm throwing 5 or 6 dice, and I didn't even get it. Even there was one time with 5 dice casting Fortune with a reroll from Runes of Witnessing, still didn't make it. So it's not as crazy dominant. I know a lot of people are freaking out about demons being able to summon more, but with Warp Charge 3 powers, I don't see it being all that dominant. And I was putting out anywhere from 19 to 25 or 24 Warp Charge a turn. So I just don't see it being crazy dominant. The missions, loved them. It made the game feel really different the whole time, and it changed my tactics every turn. Because when I'd get a new card and I saw an objective I could get, I would hold units back instead of pushing them forward. So it completely affected my play throughout the game.